American half pound, 2 pure beef patties, lettuce, tomato.
Singles going steady.
This is Singles Going Steady, the podcast dedicated to exploring great singles with a particular eye to the punk, new wave, and DIY eras of the last century. I'm Adrienne Meddock.
I'm Steve McGowan. We are in a band, the Beef People, who released a single in 1986 on our own label, Zub Records, and we are record collectors and passionate especially about the expression of pop music perfection that is the single recording. Exploring the mystery of what makes for a great single is what propelled us to begin this podcast.
And this is podcast episode of Singles Going Steady, number 110. 110. And our group today is
the English band called The Members.
The Members. And we actually have two singles we're going to talk about.
Right, we want to show how quickly they developed and changed their sound. So we're going to have one of their first singles from 1979 called The Sound of the Suburbs. It was released on Virgin Records in the UK, and then in 1982 we're going to listen to Working Girl that was released in Arista Records in the US. This band made a big change in their sound, but still keeping some really great songs.
Right, so they really started off, the songwriting was always strong, interesting, a little bit tongue-in-cheek.
Very much.
Or a lot of it tongue-in-cheek is particularly with Working Girl. Yeah. And clever lads.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. The band is led by, his stage name is Nicky Tesco.
Tesco is a store in the UK, right?
It's a famous store in the UK.
So it's kind of like being Tommy Walmart if you were here.
Exactly. And Steve Lillywhite, the famous producer who produced U2 and was married to Kirsty MacColl, his brother Adrienne Lillywhite was in this band, The Members, and so he produced all their early records. He produced their record Sound of the Suburbs, which is from the first album called At the Chelsea Nightclub, which is kind of a yobbo kind of pop, kind of Who, very Britishy sounding.
Yeah.
But this is a great single. We're going to listen to it right now. This is the song they're probably best known for in the UK. The Members from 1979, Sound of the Suburbs.
Same old boring Sunday morning, old man's out, washing a car. Mum's in the kitchen, cooking Sunday dinner, her best meal, moaning while it's lost. And Johnny is upstairs in his bedroom, sitting in the dark, annoying the neighbours with his punk rock electric guitar. This is the sound of the suburbs. This is the sound of the suburbs. Every lousy Monday morning, these projects go crashing over our home. 10 o'clock, Broadmoor siren, trying to be mad, won't leave me alone. Johnny stands there at his window looking
is the sound of the suburbs. This is the sound of the suburbs. This is the sound. 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 This is the sound of the suburbs. Calling you home. This is the sound of the suburbs.
So there's the members. I love the chorus in that song. It's a real head floater, as they say. Really goes well. And it also kind of has like almost an Ian Dury thing going on with some surf music. Instead of that real funk.
Take the blockheads surfing.
Yeah.
Take them surfing.
It's not a funk song. It's a pop song, and it has some sort of surfy guitars, but it has that kind of oi, oi, oi vocal.
But you've got those punk themes of like I'm a frustrated teen,
Right. Mhm.
I hate the norms.
Right.
The norms are frustrating, and looking down, and yet celebrating at the same time.
Yeah, well, it's funny that it's not. I'm a tough from the city. This is the sound of the suburbs.
Right. Right.
So. It's just they're winking at us, and I like it, and it's just a great song. I really like it. This was produced by Steve Lillywhite, as I said before. They put it on their first record. They were also on the. We've talked about this a number of times.
Albion.
Yes.
And Stiff.
They were on Albion Records, but what I was getting at was they were on Erg.
There we
Music
go.
War.
There we go.
Yes, they filmed them doing offshore banking business, which was more of a reggae song for them.
That's what I get for trying to read your mind.
Yeah, there's nothing there, I'm afraid. But they were on Erg.
Or the movie Erg, which was basically a musical battle of the bands,
Right.
is sort of a music war, I
Right.
think was the subtitle.
Exactly.
And everybody who was anybody and some who were almost somebody were in the movie,
Yes.
from the Police to several groups that we've talked about.
Right.
And this is yet another band
Yes.
that was on the Erg compilation in the movie Erg.
And we read that the Buzzcocks designer Malcolm Garrett did the design for these records, for the early members records,
Right,
which
right.
are very cool. They're very kind of out there.
Yeah, and particularly I was looking at the design for Working Girl, which was done about the same time as it was designing for the DB's six-pack,
Right.
the records that ended up being in the six-pack. Very reminiscent of that. That kind of going through stages of design.
Right.
Very rapidly developing music, very rapidly developing design.
So the members moved pretty fast. They had a second record that was didn't do as well, and then by the early '80s they recorded a third record, and this is a very interesting story because the record was called Going West, and it was not released in the UK. It was released by Arista Records in the US with a different title called Up Rhythm Down Beat. And this is where the single Working Girl comes from 1982. It was produced by Martin Rachant. This is the record that has their cover of Kraftwerk's The Model on it that we talked about in our Big Black episode.
Yes.
So that's very odd. Usually almost every band we talk about, their record is released in the UK but not in the US. But Arista was making a real effort to promote them in the US, and they weren't doing so well in the UK for whatever reason. But you'll hear by this point they've turned into quite a professional kind of smoother sounding band, even though the lyrics may not be quite as smooth.
Yeah. Boy, this is a much musically subtler record.
Yes, right. So let's listen to Hey, I'm in Love with the Working Girl, the members from 1982 on Arista Records.
Oh, that snaky bass. So
Yes,
snaky.
yes.
And then very sly guitar.
Yeah, that little...
I love the use of sort of negative space in the song. I mean, they're
Right.
not afraid to be quiet. They're not afraid to get loud. I mean, it's just a very nice...
Yes, they've obviously listened to some reggae music, you know,
Yeah.
even though this isn't really a reggae tune. They've got that space in their music.
Yeah, and of course, the song that was in Erg was Offshore Banking
Right.
Business,
Which
which
was
was
a reggae
a
song.
reggae
Yeah.
song. Yeah. So, yeah, they definitely added that to sort of their tool belt.
Yeah, this is a great song, and it's very tongue-in-cheek about, you know, she pays the rent, and it's your typical yobbo laying
She
around
works
the house.
9 to 5.
Right.
It's sure to keep our love alive, right?
And there is a hilarious video for this that we'll link to, these pasty white guys from England, you know, with the flashy looking models all dressed up like business women, you know, like they would be interested in these guys, you know.
Oh yeah, but as long as they keep bringing down the pounds,
That's right, exactly.
everything will be good.
It's pretty snarky. Did you ever see them?
I don't think I did.
Yeah, I saw them once. I think it was in Colombia, and it was around this period, the up rhythm down beat period, and the big band. There was like 7 of them.
Mm-hmm.
They were really good, really sharp. Couple guitar players. Nicky Tesco was a great front man. They had a great rhythm section, and I was familiar with the record. They played the whole record, and they did some of the old stuff. And I was like, "Wow, this is a really good band." You know,
Yeah.
They were very impressive. I think they did the model, it was a good time was had by all. Good crowd, good band. They are back together. They were broken up for a long time, but they have gotten back together. They're still playing, so that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Do you hear anybody covering this?
Boy, maybe to build on the notion of staying together or getting back together and building on the sort of the reggae basis, maybe somebody like the Specials.
Yes.
Because they also have that wicked sense of humor.
For Working Girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
For Working Girl.
That would be amazing, I think. Yeah. I was thinking for Sound of the Suburbs, maybe somebody like the Smithereens.
Oh yeah. Really bring out the pop
power
edge.
pop end of it. Yeah. And I pretty much had the same idea you had for the second song for Working Girl, and that would be Fishbone.
Oh, well,
I could
okay.
hear Angela singing about her paying the rent.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, but do you have a recommendation this week?
I'm sort of out. The recommendation shop is on hiatus today.
Well, I have a pretty good one.
Good.
It's not somewhere I spend a lot of time, but there is an Etsy store that I frequent around the holidays. It's called Indie Prints. It's actually in England, and if you go to Etsy and look it up, they do posters, music-related posters that are kind of like
based on lyrics. And
and they're like novels, like pulp novels and things like that. I got you that one with Elvis Costello. Yeah. And they do these really cool. They're hard to explain, but if you're into the music, you would love it. So check out Indie Prints on Etsy. It's something you'd want to put on your wall. They have a lot of different bands involved, and it's a good thing. So that's our show for today. Singles Going Steady, 110. We showed you the members, the early version of the members with Sound of the Suburbs, and then the later version of the members with Working Girl.
But not all that later. No. I mean, the rapidly...
Quick change, yeah. Quick, I wouldn't say
evolving.
Improvement. Evolving, yeah. And not something we usually do is two different singles, but, it's our show. We can do what we want. So
you're fired.
Hey, thanks. I thought I was Employee of the Month this month. No, I'm the one that's fired. So we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
To learn more about the artists and recordings we just talked about, visit our website at zubrecords.com and click on the Singles Going Steady icon.
You'll also find links to the persons, places, and things we recommend, and much more.
You can find episodes of Singles Going Steady on our website or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Singles Going Steady is brought to you by the power and majesty of Zub Records. Zub Records. Smart sounds for sharp people.